completed, the chart indicates which activities were to occur, their planned duration, and when they will occur. Other information from the chart includes the ongoing activities on any date can be seen from the diagram by using a straight edge or ruler vertically on the desired date, intersecting the arrows representing the work activities. The arrows intersected by the straight edge or ruler are the activities supposed to be ongoing on that day. By viewing the individual project program, the number of men, machines, and materials supposed to be used on the project on such date can be determined. And two, the request for time extension of the project can be determined by looking at the diagram. If the delay is due to reasons beyond control, such as control of man, such as rain, flood, and typhoon, and such delays along the critical path, the request should be considered. But if the delay is along a lax path, the time extension request should not be granted if the delay incurred is less than the total float of the activity that has been delayed. So, for example, we have here a network diagram and then a Gantt chart of based on this diagram. So, kani siya. So, you have the weeks or days. Kung unsa ni siya. Dito sa babaw, from 0 to until kanus ana siya taman. So, you have there. Nya, kani. So, itungod na nimo, diba, from node 1, you have here from 0, kanya activity A sa diagram, 10 yung duration. So, kana until 10, dire. So, if we have a line here vertical, so na dire ang node 2, so tama na ang activity A. And then, you can also start activity D, C, and B on that day or week. So, ana sila sugod. C, D, and B. While ang D, taman ra siya 2. So, taman 12. And you have there node 3. Kani base dire. D, niya, E na ang sunod niya. E. Then, you have node 6. So, 19. So, sa 19 siya. And then, on that line pod, if you have a vertical line, na po diyan nagsugod ang H o J. Then you have node 9 on H. And then, for C, for 3 days siya, so taman sa 13, na siya ay broken line, padong sa node 5. Okay, sa node 5 man siya taman, di ba? Ay padong ang iyahang activity. Same with J, you have a broken line or an arrow na broken ang tail. And also ang H, di ba, na dummy from node 9 to node 10. So you have node 9 to node 10, you have also a broken line indicating K as a dummy. So this broken line, so this can be the kung tanawon nimo ang iyahang float. So you can have this time or the days as float. So you can have the activity free nga or time leeway. You don't have activity na buhaton. Or you can use it if ma-delay imo ang project. For this, kaning bar, di ba, sunod na siya. This is the critical path. Kani A, B, F, L, M, and O. So, straight line or bar. This is indicating the critical path. So, kana B, from node 2 to 4, then you have activity F, followed by L, M, and then O. And also, from node 4, there's also activity G, na magsugod. So, followed by activity N. N, so padung na sa end nga node. And naapod siya ay float. And there's also a dummy here connecting nodes 7 and 8. Okay, so next, this is the same. The same lang siya ni. Dili lang niya G-straight without, for example, kaning A, B, F, L, M, and O. Diba, dire, naka-straight na siya. So, this one, murag wala lang niya G-straight. So, ang uban pod, okay, the same situation lang. This is the same lang, diba? If imo tanawon. Pareho ra. And also, this one, pariharap po ni siya ani, pero mura siya arrow lang. Ang dili murag bar, and then this one arrow niya. So any of that can still be understood chart. So depende ninyo, but I think I prefer this type. Gani lang iyang forma. This is based on the early start. Diba? It's based on early start. So, pwede po ka based on late start. For example, this one, based on late start. So, kalahian na niya. Also, gi-indicate dahil dapit sa node, no? The numbers, it's a node. Those are the early start and early finish. This one, dire, this is the late start and late finish. So, ang kalahian ranis, if you observe, is gi-move. Diba? Ang arrow, gi-move siya sa further or sa later nga part na pwede. Okay, so this is based on late start. Diba? For activity, so, ang critical path, dili na siya matandog mo ragyapon siya. For example, here sa D, diba dire, you can start D at 10 days or weeks. So, dire, you can start at D at 13. Now, this is the late start. Okay, so sa 13 and then 2 days, so mahuman siya sa 15. So, you have the node 3 there, dire. So, mga na ito yung difference nila for the late start and early start na ibasihan. So, na-move ra god ang arrow padung sa later nga part. Okay. So, muna siya. So, ang imuhang murag float is na dire. Ibutang ang mga broken line or float niya. Okay. And also, this is also based on the late start. So, arrow nga type, and this is the bar nga type sa diagram. Okay, so that's an example. I think sabot na tumani kaya naghimo naman mo og Gantt chart. So let's proceed. We have probable time estimates. PERT is a management tool that is suited for research and development projects, which are generally non-repetitive in nature and is sometimes called once-through project. Duration time for activities in research and development projects are subject to uncertainty, but PERT handles the uncertainty problem by the use of 3 time estimates, namely optimistic time, the most likely time or probabilistic time, and the pessimistic time. Optimistic time is the estimated minimum time an activity will take. This is the expected activity duration when all the breaks are right. It's probably is about 1 in 100 or 1%, presented by letter A in the formula. So later, on the next page, we have some formulas. May gamay nga formula for solve dire. And then most likely or Probabilistic time is the estimated normal length of time an activity takes. This is the time expected that will most frequently be required for an activity if it were done again and again under identical conditions represented by letter N sa formula. Pessimistic time is the estimated maximum time that will be required under the worst conditions. Its probability is about 1 in 100 or 1%, represented by letter B, the formulas. In addition of probability values to the network event times, allows the manager to have a more complete picture of the chances of completing any event in the network at a certain time. However, to compute probabilities, there is a need to understand some particular terms used in statistics, such as frequency distribution, normal curve or normal probability curve, standard deviation, and normal deviate or probability factor. So just some statistical terms, and I think familiar with. So in order to understand the significance of a large number of varying values, they should be arranged in an array form starting from the highest to the lowest value in order to facilitate the interpretation and analysis. The arrangement is referred to as statistical distribution. The size of the variance reflects the degree of uncertainty associated with an activity type. The larger the variance, the greater the uncertainty. Hence, an activity with a variance of 15 would have more uncertainty as to its eventual duration than one with a variance of 5. So, we have here the formulas nga gamito na to. So, expected time, or in short, ET, equals A plus 4M plus B over 6. So, mauna siyang mga letter diri nga gi-represent A for optimistic, M sa probabilistic, and B for pessimistic na time. And for the variance, B squared is equals to quantity sa B minus A squared over 36. And then the standard deviation of the expected time for each path is B path. That's the square root of the variance. And then probability, so when you solve na ka sa probability, you have Z, and then that's equals to specified time minus expected time over path standard deviation. So, di ba sa statistics, solve ka sa Z, and then you look at the table na may mga numbers showing their probability. So, open na iwato na ito, ani. So, sa Z, in solving sa Z, so you have a note, any path with a value of Z greater than 2.5 is treated as having a completion probability of 100% or 1. So, itanaw nimo sa table kadtong mga value sa Z nga greater than 2.5. Ilahang mga value is already something like 0.99. So, if you can so gi-round off na lang, you can round off that to 1 or 100% na siya. So, that's the note here. Okay, so we have an example problem. So, sample problem. So, from the following network diagram, assume duration of activity in weeks. Compute for the expected time in each activity and the expected duration of each path. Identify the critical path. Then compute the variance activity and the variance of each path. Compute the path standard deviation. What is the probability that this project will be completed in weeks of its start? and determine the probability that the project will be completed within 15 weeks. Okay, then we have the diagram here. So sa diagram, so from this node to this node, and you have 3 possible paths, ABC, DEF, and GHI. So before, katong mga diagram na to, sa previous na lesson, there's only one number kapag sa letter or sa arrow, sa path. And this one, we have 3. So that numbers, nag-represent, the first digit, nag-represent na siya sa optimistic time, the middle is the probable time, and the last digit is the pessimistic time. So mo ni siya ang AMB na gamiton na to inig-solve. So for the solution, let's tabulate it para mas sabtan or maklaro. So for example, we have here path ABC. Activity involved niya is A, B, and C. DEF, you have activity DEF, and GHI, you have activity GHI. And then their corresponding times. Optimistic, which is A, probable, which is M, and B for pessimistic. So, mo ni sila. So, gagikan dire. So, ang A, 234. So, 234. Ang B, 246. 246. And C is 134. 134. So, kana. Until I. So, gisot ra ang given dire nga mga time. So, after you tabulate those values, you can solve for the expected duration or expected time. So, ET is equals to A plus 4M plus B all over 6. So, just substitute these values, A and B, sa formula, you will get the expected time or duration. So, mao ni sila. Corresponding expected duration each activity. And then, to solve for the total path duration, just add. So, i-add din mo ng activity A, B, C, 3, 4, and 2.83, add din mo. That's the expected duration sa path ABC. Ano sila? I-add na ni. So, add din mo 4, 5, 7, 16. Add din mo 3.55 and 4.16, 12.16. So, okay. So, based on this is the largest, 16. So, mao ni ang critical path, DEF. So, expected duration of each activity is found at column ET, while expected duration of each path is found at column path total, which is the sum of expected duration of activities within the path. And then, critical path is the path with largest expected duration, which is path DEF with 16 units. So, moto, base ani, DEF ang ato ang critical path at 16 units or 16 weeks, since in weeks man ang gingon dire sa problem. Okay, so mga 16 weeks ang iyahang expected duration. And we can calculate the probability that this project will be completed in 17 weeks, so ma-delay of 1 week. And the probability that this project will be completed in 15 weeks, or makaya ba ni nga mahumag dali, mas advance of 1 week, okay, 17 or 15. Okay, it's 1 week after or before 16 weeks. Sunod. Okay. So we can solve for the variance and the standard deviation. So kani, okay, so this value from column path and then kaning column sa time, the same lang na dire. And we can solve for the variance of each activity. So formula for variance is the quantity of b minus a squared over 36. Okay, Okay. Solving for the variance of each activity. Substitute the values of A and B sa equation and you can solve. So, muna sila 4 over 36, 16 over 36, 9 over 36. The variance of the corresponding activity niya. And so on until G, H, and I. So, muna ilang variance sa activity. And then the variance of the path, you just add. So, you add ang 4 over 36 plus 16 over 36 plus 9 over 36. So, you get 29 over 36 or that is 0.805. So, this is the variance of path ABC. So, i-add po ni kaning sa DEF, you get 36 over 36 or 1. That's the variance of path DEF. I-add po ang 9 over 36, 4 over 36, and 9 over 36. You get 22 over 36, that's 0.611. This is the variance of path GHI. For the standard deviation, square root lang ang variance sa path. So, square root of 0.805, 0.9897, square root of 1 is 1, square root of 0.611 is 0.782. So, this is the standard deviation sa path. So, variance of each activity and the variance for each path is shown in column V squared and V squared path, respectively. Path standard deviation is shown in column V path. Okay, so mauna sila. You solve them. Now, we can solve for the probability. So, solving for the probability nga mahuman ang project in 17 weeks. So, solve for Z using the equation specified time minus expected time over path standard deviation. So, Z equals, ang specified time na we try to look for is 17 weeks minus the expected time of the project, which is 16 weeks. But that's the expected duration of the critical path, so it's for the whole project. Over the path standard deviation. Standard deviation is a critical path. Kaya mo may itong tanawan or dissolve. So, solve the 1. So, you get a Z that is equals to positive 1. Now, we can look at table. We have a given table. Refer to the table A under the column Z, whose value. So, positive 1, kailangan po yung negative dire. Negative values, diba? Na negative 1. So, positive 1. So, if you get 1.00, 1.01, so, kanang tungod niya, up to 1.09. So, ani. So, 1.00, you get 0.8413. So, the value is 0.8413. Hence, the probability that the project will be completed within 17 weeks is 84% or 84.13%. Okay, so, muna siya. And then, another nga question katong probability nga mahuman siya og 15 weeks. So, you can also try to check, okay, the probability nga mahuman ka ng path in 15 weeks. So, you have for path ABC with their corresponding duration nga na-solve ganiha, BF and GHI. So, solving for the Z. So, specified time minus expected time over path standard deviation. So, specified time na to is 15 weeks minus the expected time of that path, 9.83 over the standard deviation of that path. Solve na po na siya dire. Standard deviation. Okay. So, you will get for path AB, C, Z is 764. For path DEF, which is mo na itong basihan sa project, kaya mo na yung critical 15 minus 16 over 1, you get negative 1. And for patch 15 minus 12.66 over the standard deviation is positive 2. Solving for the z, you can check the table. So for ABC, 5.764, ang ato ang values diri sa z is only 3.49 ang maximum. Diba? Kay kani 9 man eh. So 3.49 lang ang maximum. So if it's more than that, based po dani, even this part na, diba, ang mga values na already 0.99 or round up nimo, that's already 1. So mas dako pa gud ni siya 5. So based on the table, it is approximately equal to 100%. So 100% ang probability nga ma-complete siya in 15 weeks. For the DEF, negative 1, so negative 1 kani, you will get 1587. Or based on the table, it's equal to 15.87%. And for GHI, that's 2.992. So 2.992, kani, 2.99. So that is 0.9986. And also, if you round up, nani mo, di ba, 1 naman. And also, 2.99, that's already more than sa note kaniha. Diba, note, if it's larger than 2.5, it's treated as 1. So, larger na po na siya. So, based on the table, it's approximately equal to 100%. Okay? So, that's the probability of completion in 15 weeks. So, the path ABC and GHI nga dili critical path, they have a probability nga mahuman na siya in 15 weeks. And the DEF, which is a critical path, so ang iyang probability nga mahuman siya in 15 weeks is 15.87%. So it's lesser, no? Ang iyang probability nga mahuman siya og advance compared sa 17 weeks, di ba? 84%. So, mas dako ang probability nga medyo ma-delay siya. Or, compare sa ma-advance na 15 weeks. Okay? You can also try to solve if mas earlier or mas later kung saan na may probability niya. So, makakas ka to ang lesson 9. Okay? So, maghatag sa og activity ani. So, maybe deadline will be April na. April lang din. Anyway, daghan magkalindi ang April. Okay? Kay, kung dili ta mag-activity, dili po ninyo ma-review ang lesson. Kaya kung ma-activity ta, ma-review man ninyo. Kaya maghimo mo sa activity. And mag-quiz ta next week. For our quiz, wala pa nilabot. Just the lesson 7 and 8. So, unsa man to na sa lesson 7 and 8, katong mag-drawing og diagram og mag-solve og kani. Solving for ES, LS, EF, LF, and the flow. And identifying the critical path and critical activity. So, i-review ninyo. Some of my question will be for this activity, what is the late finish? For activity 6-8, kung sa may iyahang early start, yan na. So, syempre, dapat i-review ninyo sa una siya pag-solve. Okay, that's for Thursday next week. Again ha, lesson 7 o 8 sa lang. Walay labot ang lesson 9 sa quiz. Okay. It's okay. Naglobat. Okay. So before we end, please turn on your camera. Asay na ni Udto na ani. Asay nagkaon diha. Please turn on your camera. Ihayag pulma sa salvasyon, oh.